משכן כבודיך, משכן כבודיך. מה טוב, מה טוב, אוהליך יעקב, משכנותיך ישראל. מה טוב, מה טוב, אוהליך יעקב, משכנותיך ישראל.
I've been overwhelmed and so impressed and made to feel a part of the alum who are here and who I see on the screen or in person at our events, as there really is, they play such an important part in creating a kahila, a community.
I would like to express my gratitude for the fact that so many alumni whom I've had the opportunity to get to know through retreat or elsewhere are just there. um, they define in many ways for me what it means to be rabbis and cantors.
I am really grateful to the alumni of AJR who are the foundation of our school, and I'm grateful to you for the generosity with which you offer your time and your knowledge and the example that you are setting in the community for us.
I feel very honored to have the privilege tonight of expressing to all of you, those that I know and those that I don't know, my heartfelt appreciation for all that you've done for AJR. On a personal note, it was an alumnus of this wonderful school that first drew my attention to the possibilities that could be open to me.
And never, ever have I seen the kind of connection of alumni to an institution in my life. And to me, that says something not just about who I am, but about who I'm going to become. Because to me, it sets up this future community that is already opening its arms.
The fact that AJR engenders such love from its alumni gets returned to us current students tenfold through what we learn from them. And it's a beautiful circle of life and cycle of perpetuating Judaism that really will make me and my colleagues better rabbis and cantors. So we can't thank you enough, alumni. We students are truly grateful.
I'm an occasional student, but I've always been welcomed into whatever setting that I entered, and I so appreciate it. So I wish everyone the best, and you are truly a light.
And I was thinking a lot about the things that I've really appreciated in terms of the makeup of the community and the responsiveness of the administration and the faculty and all of the layers of that, and how that is a testament to everything that's come before and the people I know and the people that I don't know who have gone through all of the years at AJR to make it what it is today, to make it such an inclusive and responsive place that meets the needs of so many students and is eager to continue meeting the needs of so many students.
May you be blessed with the strength and good health to continue to do your work. May your heart be full of passion, compassion, and the ability to safely hold pain in these hard times. May you be blessed with the clarity of vision and purpose so that the days which seem murky become clearer. And may you be blessed to continue to tap into your unique neshama so that from your tzion, from your inner spot, will shine forth the illuminating Torah, which we all need so badly right now.
Good evening. I'm Dr. Ora Horn-Browser, AJR's CEO and Academic Dean, and it is my privilege to welcome you this evening actually, feels like the morning. We are pleased to share with you a picture of who we are at AJR. We are a community that believes in serving the Jewish people, that is devoted to pluralism and the cherishing of diversity, and that trains rabbis and cantors who truly make a difference. Every time you turn around, something new is happening at AJR. We have doubled in size in just a few years and enriched our program offerings. We have added new dimensions to clergy training, including new areas such as entrepreneurship, peace studies, and the intersection of science and religion. We have been the recipients of recent grants, with one grant supporting bringing science into clergy training and another grant supporting interfaith work. AJR is in a time of rapid growth. Now is the time to join us in this holy work. We should take note of where we are in the calendar. We are in the month of June, Pride Month, when we celebrate the beauty, strength, and perseverance of the LGBTQ+ community. In addition, in 2 days, we will mark Juneteenth, when we commemorate the end of slavery in the United States. Each of those has its own unique characteristics and reasons to celebrate freedom, dignity, and the beauty of every individual. Both mark efforts and sacrifices that were made and that are still being made by advocates today. And the work is not done. The world is a better place thanks to those who stand up for social justice, racial justice, and tikkun olam. Our communities can only be fixed through hard work rooted in love, passion, strength, education, and more love. Today, we are honoring AJR alumni who spend their lives working to make the world a better place, whether it's one person at a time or on a national scale. They share with their communities their love, passion, spiritual depth, and devotion to seeing Jewish life as a model of justice and light. Each of them, along with all of our alumni colleagues, uses their devotion to the Jewish people and Jewish learning to make a difference. We are so proud of all of you and all that each of you is accomplishing. And we look forward to continuing to see your impact on the Jewish community. At the end of Brachot 64a, we have a section that has made its way into our liturgy. תלמידי חכמים מרבים שלום בעולם, שנאמר, וכל בנייך לימודי אדוני, ורב שלום בנייך. Torah scholars increase peace in the world, as it is said, quoting Isaiah, and all your children, banayich, shall be taught of the Lord, and great shall be the peace of your children. That is, teaching Torah, teaching about God, leads to peace. But they continue, Al tikre banayich ela bonayich. The sages interpreted this verse homiletically. Do not read your children, banayich, but your builders, bonayich. Torah scholars are those who build peace for their generations. While you, our alumni, are not our children, you are our family. But you are not only our family, you are also our builders. You are builders of AJR, and you are builders of the Jewish community. Your devotion to pluralism, your creativity, learning, caring souls, and spiritual depth enable you to see what the Jewish community can become and to build, to create communities that live that vision. Mazal tov to all of our honorees.
Hi, I'm New York State Senator Shelley Mayer. I'm so thrilled to be here with you, my friends at the Academy for Jewish Religion, for your celebration of service to honor the B'nai Mitzvah class of 2008, Rabbi Peg Kirschenbaum, Rabbi Suri Krieger, Rabbi Charles Leitner, Rabbi Leanna Morit, Rabbi Cantor Howard Nacht, and Rabbi Eleanor Perlman for 13 years of service, and the Mahadran class of 1996, Cantor Kathy J. Barr, Cantor Moshe Bear, Cantor Elaine Favre, Rabbi David Greenstein, Cantor Robin Joseph, and Rabbi Stephen Rubenstein for your 25 years of service. In these years, you have taken what you studied at the Academy for Jewish Religion and provided outstanding guidance to the Jewish community, especially this past year, as many people, myself included, turned to their faith to cope with the effects of the COVID-19 pandemic. As evident by tonight's event, you have taken your teachings to many different geographic locations and undoubtedly have had a great impact. I'd also like to congratulate Rabbi Katie Allen on receiving the Association of Rabbis and Cantors Alumni of the Year Award. Your tireless work as an eco-chaplain is inspiring, and I commend you for your dedication. Best wishes to all as you continue your celebration.
It's my pleasure to be here this evening and say a few words about Rabbi Katie Allen. Rabbi Katie Allen is someone who cares deeply. For all who have had the pleasure of knowing her and working with her, she has been a trailblazer, a teacher, and an inspiration. Knowing Katie for about 20 years has given me the opportunity to come into contact with some of the many colors of the rainbow that her work and her being represent. Whether it is managing to lead a spiritually meaningful outdoor service in the rain at an ARC retreat, or her yearly Elul essays that bring together her spiritual depth and her commitment to the environment. Sharing the story of her rainbow kippah, which she made is both a story of hope and the dangers of a world where we are not paying close enough attention to our environment. Although now we can point to Katie as one of the leaders of the Jewish environmental movement, as one of the co-founders of the Jewish Climate Action Network, she exhibited her passion for environmental action by charting a path for ARC to get involved in environmental action, from her early days as an alumna to recent days with her work in the annual Jewish Climate Network Conference. Katie has been our conscience when it comes to environmental action, giving us the tools we need to bring awareness to the communities we serve. Katie does this both gently and firmly, in the belief that each of us can make a difference. And those of us who've heard her teach today were certainly reminded of those qualities. We who've had the joy of knowing Katie through the years have known her as a caring colleague and friend. We are proud to honor Katie for her work as a rabbi, a chaplain, an incredible storyteller, an environmentalist, and most of all, as our gentle teacher and friend. It is with deep joy and gratitude that we honor Rabbi Katie Allen as our Alumna of the Year.
Thank you so much, and Erev Tov. Good evening, everyone. You know how the verse begins. God spoke to Moses saying, "Speak to the Israelites and say to them." This particular verse continues, "You shall put solar panels on your homes and live and advocate for a sustainable lifestyle for all, for I, your God, am holy." You don't recognize that verse, really? Actually, neither do I, and yet I do. I do because I see such messages in nearly every verse. I see them as the subtext of, in the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth, and of take off your shoes for you are standing on holy ground. I see them in the injunctions to care for the poor, welcome the stranger, pay attention to what we eat, and pursue justice. Why do I see them? Because everything is connected. Because everything and everyone is sacred. Everything. The air we breathe out enters the tree beside us, and we breathe in the oxygen it produces. The Holy One of Blessing touches every single cell and fiber of our being, and every single aspect of life and non-life, and all that is or was or ever will be. Connections are everywhere. So when you next open the Torah, I beseech you to see and hear that God is saying, speak to the Israelites, to everyone, and tell them to understand the impact of fossil fuel consumption on vulnerable communities. Tell them that as long as making the air unbreathable is acceptable, as long as spewing toxic chemicals into the water is not abhorred by all, as long as living comfortably without recognizing the consequences is our default way of being, as long as any lives in any part of creation are considered by anyone to be disposable, the Messiah will not arrive. There will be no peace among us, and everything and everyone we hold dear is in danger. Tell them to act while it still matters. I am so grateful to the Association of Rabbis and Cantors for the honor of being chosen as Alumna of the Year and for the recognition this honor gives to the Jewish Climate Action Network. I will be even more grateful if you will go home and speak from the deepest places of your hearts to your families, your communities, and your God, and together make a decision to act in new and impactful ways to preserve this precious planet and all of its inhabitants. Toda Rabbah, thank you so very, very much.
Many of us may have celebrated a coming-of-age milestone when we turned 12 or 13 and became fully fledged members of the Jewish community. Today, we celebrate our AJR graduates for a B'nai Mitzvah's worth of years of giving back to the Jewish community. We are proud to recognize our alumni from the class of 2008 who have served the Jewish world with strength, vigor, and passion for 13 years. Our 6 B'nai Mitzvah alumni bring a wealth of talents to their communities with pastoral, academic, and musical strengths that brighten the lives of their congregants, colleagues, and friends. Since leaving AJR, they've moved in very different trajectories, some remaining with a single community since ordination, and others moving among different institutions, either part-time or full-time, to share their Torah with a wide array of people. But all of them do AJR proud with the work that they have done and continue to do for the Jewish community. Since her ordination, Rabbi Peg Kirschenbaum has served as the rabbi of the intimate community B'nai Harim in the Poconos. Her time at AJR provided her with a greater appreciation of pluralism, which has been vital to addressing the diverse needs of her community. Peg has taken on a number of leadership roles connected with AJR, serving as president of the Association of Rabbis and Cantors, as well as on the board for the Academy. She also regularly teaches Biblical Hebrew at AJR and serves on our Hebrew Program Committee. Rabbi Suri Krieger resides in the Boston area, serving as rabbi of B'nai Or Jewish Renewal of Boston, and during the pandemic, she actively facilitates several programs a week for her congregation. Previously, she taught at Sacred Heart University, allowing her an opportunity to be directly involved in interfaith dialogue. Suri has presented a number of sessions of the Limud and Ohala conferences, and as she approaches retirement, she embraces the blessing of being able to engage in her pulpit and pastoral counseling work. Rabbi Chuck Leitner's intellectual curiosity drew him to AJR. Over the years, he has had numerous opportunities to teach, counsel, lead services, perform life cycle events, and support the Jewish community in various ways. He has served on the AJR board for many years, including as chair, overseeing the Academy's move to Yonkers. Chuck is grateful for having exactly the sort of rabbinate he hoped for and appreciates that he is currently able to devote most of his time to his passion of studying and writing. Rabbi Leanna Morit worked in a number of positions since graduation, serving as the Director of Jewish Outreach at New York City's 92nd Street Y until she went on to found Jewish Thresholds, a Jewish engagement organization. She taught for the URJ's Introduction to Judaism team, as well as for the Olive Rabbinic program in Melton. Leanna served at the Roosevelt Island Jewish Congregation for more than a decade, in addition to building up a program through the Jewish Federation of Greater Metro West, providing for homebound elders. Since 2018, she's been the rabbi of Temple Beth El in Jersey City and loves the diverse, socially conscious, and open community of which she is a part. Rabbi Cantor Howard Naft, who was ordained as a cantor in 2001 and then continued on with us to earn rabbinic ordination in 2008, has served Reform and conservative congregations in both capacities. He identifies the roots of his Jewish education with learning from his grandfather in his youth. Howard went on to be involved in the Jewish Student Organization in college, as well as in various leadership roles in his congregation after leading graduate school. He initiated the organization of cantorial material in the AJR library and also taught ritual skills to students at the Academy. Earning both undergraduate and graduate degrees in Jewish subjects, Rabbi Eleanor Perlman balanced her passion for Judaism with a degree in social work, leading to a professional career of counseling. Reconnecting with the former member of her Boston Chavurah, who introduced her to the Academy, Eleanor was attracted to the kindness, support, and enthusiasm of the AJR community. Since she was ordained, she served at Congregation Gates of Heaven until retiring in 2018, although she still maintains a part-time social work practice.
The sweetest memory that I have is of being asked by Rabbi Zlotowitz to work with him on his Greek, Hebrew, English, and Latin polyglot lexicon of the Tanakh. This project went on for over 10 years. The fruit of it was that we had a wonderful friendship, and the friendship and mutual respect continues through his wife, his widow, Shirley, over all these years.
Every Tuesday, AJR alumni have an opportunity to get together on Zoom and check in, commiserate, talk about what's going on for them. This past Tuesday, we were talking about the tendency of AJR rabbis to be very pluralistic and therefore inclusive in their thinking about more global community events, whereas other denominations have a tendency to want to dominate in a particular event, which is not very inviting. And there's a striking difference between this inculcation of pluralism that we have from AJR, this desire to include Klal Yisrael rather than exclude.
When I started studying at AJR, I wanted, at that time, I would have said I wanted to do exactly what I'm doing right now. It's very, very easy to get lost in the detail, to get lost in the complexity, to get lost in the duration of a rabbinic study program. The people who, it seems to me, have been most successful at navigating those difficulties are those who've been able to keep the end in mind. It's not about the years at AJR, it's about the years after the years at AJR.
Then there is the liturgical nurturing that I got at AJR. In the early years of my AJR education, the assignments in the daily and the Shabbat liturgy class were really transformational and gave me a depth and love of the liturgy and the liturgical experience that I find essential to my rabbinate.
What really sticks out in my mind from my time at the Academy is that it made me comfortable in multiple Jewish settings. The privilege of studying with teachers from across the spectrum of Jewish life. And perhaps in addition to everything I learned to become a cantor and a rabbi, one of the things that sticks out is that my time at the academy has yielded several lifelong friendships.
There was an exploring of the dimensions of a wall between houses. How high should this wall become? The amount of detail felt outrageous at the time. Then I raised my hand and I shared my excitement. Perhaps we were not talking about walls, but rather we were looking at the need for privacy and distancing in life. I felt the depth of Talmud at that moment, and I thank Rabbi David Greenstein for bringing me on this journey.
Since my ordination, I've been the rabbi at B'nai Harim in the Poconos. It's a small but dynamic congregation that meets for services part-time, year-round. And it has such an active community that something's always happening either on or behind the scenes. Don't ever think that your learning will go to waste in a small congregation. People often do best in small groups, and the impact you make on them and the surrounding communities can be huge.
So at the moment, I am privileged to be the rabbi, spiritual director of B'nai Or, Jewish Renewal of Greater Boston. And of course, this is Zoom time, so we're doing everything in Zoom, but while I'm a part-time, half-time rabbi, Zoom time has made me almost full-time because we do programs, at least once, twice, maybe 3 times a week, ranging from, of course, tefillot, Torah and tefillah and davening, to studying a particular text once a week, or featuring, we have something called Shmooze In, and we're a small community, but quite vibrant.
These days, I'm very thankfully able to devote some time to teaching, which I love, some time to the leading and support of a Shabbat morning minyan, which I also love, big part of my week. And most of my time these days, I'm able to devote to study and to writing, which is what if I had to pick something and say, this is what I want to do with my life right now, that's what I want to do with my life right now. So I'm very fortunate to be able to devote my time to things that interest me.
Aside from spending an awful lot of time in my basement office, I am the full-time rabbi of Temple Beth El in Jersey City. It's a Reform congregation, and I am also currently the vice president of the North Jersey West Hudson Valley of Association of Reform Rabbis, married to Rabbi Stephen Kushner, and have a wonderful new puppy, Shayna Madeline.
Now, more than 20 years since I first went on the Bima, and today celebrating my second B'nai Mitzvah from the Academy. I've been working in several congregations, both Reform and Conservative, and both as cantor and as rabbi. And now I'm retired from synagogue life, so I still do an occasional life cycle event.
After I received my ordination in 2008 from the Academy for Jewish Religion, I continued my service to Congregation Gates of Heaven, fulfilling the role of adjunct rabbi until June 2nd, 2018, when I retired and became emerita.
Cantor Gladys Gruenwald, who grew up in a home filled with Jewish life, lore, and music, arrived at AJR without specific plans to become a cantor. She just wanted to study Torah for its own sake. But by the time of her ordination in 2011, it was obvious to all that she had found her true place in the Jewish world. Gladys was a model of a 21st century Jewish leader. Gladys was selected to the AJR Board of Trustees following her ordination, in some ways serving as the board's conscience. She took a keen interest in and strongly supported AJR's cantorial program, and especially her future cantorial colleagues. Gladys always had lots of energy and ideas for any project she took on. She worked tirelessly to recruit students to the school and to raise money for its operations, and she was instrumental in organizing AJR's 60th anniversary gala. A lifelong teacher, Gladys made a lasting impact on the people whose lives she touched. She was always classy and sharp, and she was so delightful and caring, according to her colleagues, her students, and their parents. Gladys just took everyone under her wing and made them feel welcome. Spending time with Gladys, whether she was singing, teaching, or merely chatting, seemed to lift whatever burden one may have been carrying. And as she was to so many here at AJR and elsewhere, Gladys was my friend. As I conclude this tribute, I am reminded of two of the lines from my congregation's Yizkor service. First is the sentiment that God would never allow the impact Gladys made here to fade. And finally, that Gladys always will be a part of us as we now remember her.
Shalom. I'm Cantor Lisa Klinger-Cantor, Dean of Admissions at AJR. The world becomes less bright when our dear friend, Cantor Gladys Grunwald, a blessed memory, passed from this world to the one to come. As a child of survivors, she knew the importance of forging ahead, of making a home that was safe and filled with happiness and beauty. She brought the strength of that simple idea into her professional life as well. Gladys was a wonderful educator, having taught in public schools earlier on, but especially as she prepared young people to become B'nai Mitzvah. Gladys passionately loved her family and friends, and Ken and Josh were always her pride and joy. Gladys had a lifelong passion for Jewish choral music and Yiddish repertoire, and her time at AJR framed the transition from choral singer to cantor, a title she wore with great pride. When I sat down to write this introduction, I began by thinking what it is I miss most since we lost Gladys. And it was simple. I miss my friend. I miss our friendship. We all lost a friend. The Academy lost a dedicated friend and supporter. She was always involved and always there with a helping hand. Gladys didn't pull any punches. If she had an opinion on a subject, she would always let you know with a smile what it was. You didn't have to guess. Not confrontational, simply straightforward and honest. In honor of Gladys's memory, our cantorial students sang one of her favorite songs, a setting of Gesher by Judith Silver. Gladys performed this piece in concerts. The entire world is but a narrow bridge. The most important thing is not to be afraid.
כל העולם כולו גשר צר מאוד, והעיקר לא לפחד כלל. כל העולם כולו גשר צר מאוד, והעיקר לא לפחד כלל. כל העולם כולו גשר צר מאוד, והעיקר not to be afraid.
To my left and to my right, the jaws of the abyss, by its twinkling teeth I chart my course. Fear singing in my ears, to my left and to my right. the jaws of the abyss. By its twinkling teeth I chart my course. Fear singing in my ears.
How can I be safe on a narrow bridge? How can I be strong till the day I die? How can I be safe on a narrow bridge? How can I be strong till the day I die? How can I be safe on a narrow bridge? How can I be strong till the day I die? How can I be safe on a narrow bridge? How can I be strong till the day I die? Look down, keep going, don't look down, keep growing, don't look down, keep moving. Don't look down, keep going, don't look down, keep growing, don't look down, keep moving.
To my right, the jaws of the abyss. By its twinkling teeth I chart my course. Fear singing in my ears. To my right, the jaws of the abyss. By its twinkling teeth I chart my course. Fear singing in my ears.
כל העולם כולו גשר.
AJR's Mehedrin, our colleagues who attained ordination in 1996, are a special group of cantors and rabbis. They have used their education, their passion, their sense of personal responsibility, their wisdom, and their full hearts to serve the Jewish community with love and devotion. It is no accident they all found the Academy. AJR was the right school and offered the right mix of deep learning and an expansive vision and experience of God's presence in their lives. The Academy nurtured their explorations, and they, in return, nurtured each other and every student who followed in their footsteps. We are proud of their accomplishments. We are indebted to their generosity. We are grateful for the opportunity of celebrating their careers. Cantor Kathy Barr has woven the threads of contemplation and joy to encourage congregations in the act of singing. For her, music is the language of the soul. Kathy's performing career began at age 7 and has taken her to the opera, oratorio, and liturgical music stages. Her accomplishments include performing with the New York Philharmonic under the baton of Zubin Mehta and recording with the Western Wind Ensemble on their 2-CD set, The Birthday of the World. Her professional affiliations include the Association of Rabbis and Cantors, the ACC, the URJ, and the Guild of Temple Musicians, to name a few. Currently, she serves as chair of the New Jersey Cantors Concert Ensemble. And in the coming year, she will serve as the interim cantor of Temple Chavarim of Plainview, Long Island. In her spare time, Kathy makes jewelry, talitot, and talit clips. Cantor Moshe Baer's route to AJR came through Pensacola, Florida, his hometown, through Nashville's Vanderbilt University and Manhattan's Jewish Theological Seminary. Following ordination from the Academy, he served at several synagogues that culminated in his current position as Chazan at Temple Gates of Prayer in Flushing, New York. He is an active member of the Cantors Assembly, where he has held several key positions and produced some groundbreaking and historic concerts. In fact, he has produced concerts of Jewish music for the last 32 years. Moshe has toured North America, Europe, and Israel as a vocalist and has a specialty in Yiddish art song, a skill he learned from the great Yiddish singer Masha Benya. He has been a Jewish educator for over 50 years and feels privileged to have been given the chance and a life of service to Klal Yisrael. Cantor Elaine Favor, Zichrona Livracha, spent her entire life pursuing musical and caregiving goals. By the time she entered the Academy, she had amassed quite an impressive resume, which included the titles vocalist, instrumentalist, counselor, teacher, tutor, and president of her local Hadassah chapter. AJR was the lucky recipient of her talents as well as her love of Judaism. She navigated the waters of home life and school demands with equal parts tenacity, talent, and grace. She was ordained and found success in the pulpit working alongside her close friend, Rabbi Judy Frankel, at B'nai Elohim in Scarsdale. As part of an all-female clergy team, there was great pride in their partnership. Elaine moved on to Temple Beth El of City Island, where she worked with Rabbi Shahama Wiener. Between 2010 and her death in 2016, she was an active volunteer at the New York Botanical Gardens, as well as giving her cantorial time to residents of the Bronx Psychiatric Center. Elaine's cantorial career was one of the crowning achievements of her life, and one which shaped her sense of having lived a very full life. Cantor Robin Joseph graduated college with a degree in dramatic literature, an area of expertise she continues to work in, even though she has held the cantorial pulpit at Temple Beth Shalom in Hastings-on-Hudson for the past 40 years. She is a very talented composer, having won the American Zionist Movement's first song competition in 1994 for her original setting of Imesh Kachech. Her songs can be found in transcontinental music publications and through Oi Songs. She has developed her own style of storytelling through songs, which is called Midrashir. As a soloist, and as one half of the musical duo Beshert, with AJR alum Rabbi Cantor Sonny Schnitzer, Robin has performed in a variety of styles and settings. In secular life, her performing career is in both communal and professional stage acting, directing, stage managing, and playwriting. She and her husband, Albie Gorn, co-manage their theater company, Gojo Clan Productions. Rabbi Stephen Rubenstein began his rabbinical career in the pulpit, but soon realized his heart and his sense of home were working with senior adults. Earning a master's degree in Jewish communal service, he worked in the areas of senior housing and senior living. His path led him to pursue a 5-year course of study, ending in accreditation as a chaplain, and a move to Denver, Colorado, where he became the spiritual care director at a senior care facility, Shalom Cares. Stephen's work further developed, and he went on to receive board certification from Neshama, the Association of Jewish Chaplains. In 2018, Stephen moved to Rochester, New York, where he serves as the Director of Chaplaincy at Jewish Senior Life, a large senior living campus that makes very good use of his many skills to serve the Jewish and non-Jewish residents the community ministers to.
Oh my goodness, there are so many memories from the academy that I have. I really like my first year when we had a convention in the temple, in where our school was. And it was led by teachers and graduates of the academy. And I learned so much in those 2 days. It was quite amazing.
I remember a professional class with Rabbi David Fass. And the task, the assignment, was to tackle a difficult problem that we were having possibly with one of our colleagues. In my case, it was the senior rabbi. And what I learned in that process was that it was more important to work on myself rather than to project problems that I might be having on someone else. And that approach has been so effective for me across the boards, not just with colleagues, but with my congregants and my family as well.
I think one of my most vivid memories is actually when I first was checking out AJR and I sat in on a class which was being taught by Rabbi Bernard Zlotowitz, Alav HaShalom. And I don't even remember what the class was, but when he asked me about myself, I told him that I had grown up in the Reform movement, and he said, "Oh, a girl after my own heart." And I thought, okay, I think I belong here. And then afterwards, after the class was over, the other students in the class invited me out to lunch with them. They went to grab a bite to eat, and actually sitting around with them and feeling like I was a part of what they were doing, and they gave me the impression that this is where I belonged, was very powerful to me.
But I have to thank the Academy for just giving me those tools and opening up my mind to what we need to do in order to develop a sense of spirituality with all those who we guide in life.
I've been in a lot of places since graduation. I think my favorite place was the Village Temple, where I also served with another AJR graduate. Basically, I got to bat mitzvah a whole passel of girls that I had known since kindergarten because they were in my daughter's class. It was wonderful. I just had to train them to call me Cantor Bar instead of Nora's mommy.
I went to a shul as the first professional chazan to grow that shul. After 8 years of service, I moved to another shul where my primary purpose was to transform a large congregation through prayer. And now I've returned to my original student pulpit in order to rebuild that shul again through education and through service.
So I am in my 41st year actually at Temple Beth Shalom in Hastings-on-Hudson. So yes, I was ordained 25 years ago, but gratefully I have been working here at Temple Beth Shalom for 40 years now. So on top of all that, I am composing and I continue to publish. And because my husband retired first, we started a theater company a few years ago because, why not?
In my present community, we don't use books. They're too heavy for the residents to hold. So everything is on a PowerPoint presentation. And the PowerPoint presentation that I inherited was bulky. It was just words on a page. And so I took my photography and put my photographs onto the page so that everyone had access to not only the words, but the spirit of the prayer.
I went to school with Elaine for the whole time that I was there. I remember a couple really good things about her. The piece that she wrote for our composition class was based on the Book of Ruth. And she said it just came from her.
Elaine, I have the greatest, wonderful memories of Elaine. She was a gentle, joyous spirit, and when I remember her, it's not just with the love that I had for her, but I try to remember to share that with other people in my life, to pay that forward. It's the best way I know to redeem not just her memory, but my own life.
What I remember about Elaine in general is, first of all, her incredibly sweet neshama. So calm, so loving. This is a woman who you thought never raised her voice, and then when she would raise her voice in song, you almost didn't know where it was coming from because she was so unassuming. But everything radiated from her when she sang.
My name is Bill Levinson, and as chair of the Board of Trustees, I'm delighted that you've joined us at this very special evening celebrating extraordinary people, our B'nai Mitzvah class, our Mahadran class, and Rabbi Katie Allen, recipient of the ARC Alumna Award. We are celebrating these individuals for their years of service to the Jewish community. Two of the weekly Torah portions, one from the past few weeks and another from an upcoming weekly reading, can provide us with insight regarding the attributes and actions that our honorees display. So I'd like to share a thought with you from a few weeks ago when we read Parshat Shalach, and then as a metaphorical bookend from Parshat Balak, which we will read in 2 weeks. In Parshat Shalach, Moses sends out the 12 tribal representatives as spies to check out the land of Israel, instructing them as to what they should be observing and noting. Among those instructions, he tells them to see if the inhabitants live in open camps or fortress cities. Uma ha'arim asher hu yoshev bahena, hab'machanim im b'mivtzarim. A classic commentary says that Moses' message was that true strength is displayed when people have the confidence and security to live openly. If you build fortressed, constricted, defended communities, these are in fact signs of weakness. Sadly, the majority of the spies miss that nuance and come back and bear a depressing message to the children of Israel. And we wandered for 40 years in the desert. Parshat Balak opens with yet another example of someone seeking to damn and curse the other. Balak, the king of Moab, commissions Bilam to curse the Jewish people. And yet Bilam, considered by tradition to be an outstanding prophet, finds himself speaking words of blessing as instructed by God. In one of his lesser-known lines, he says, Ma'akov lo kabokel, uma'ezom lo za'am Hashem. How can I curse that which God has not cursed? How can I despise that which God does not despise? Our bookend takeaways are precisely the inherent values and wisdom of two of the cornerstones of AJR's philosophy. I'm speaking, of course, about pluralism and openness to others, combined with a profound, albeit at times difficult, respect for all of God's creations. These must be the foundations from which we all work to create messages, forums, and actions to bring about a more caring, compassionate, just, and equitable world for all its inhabitants. These are the attributes operationalized in their actions as leaders of their communities that our honorees have displayed. Judaism is as much focused on the future as it is on the past or the present. So in honoring all of you tonight, we are really acknowledging the implicit call to action for you, our honorees, but more importantly for all of us, to continue our work and commitment to make this world a better place. Let us honor and celebrate that future-oriented commitment this evening.
It
is my privilege to offer this blessing. Morim nechbadim, marot nechbadot, chaverenu. Our dear colleagues and teachers, we bless you on this day of honoring your 13 years of giving of yourselves. Each year, we take a census of our community. Each year, we acknowledge our gratitude for the brothers and sisters of our academy who have chosen to serve the Jewish people through curiosity, service, and love for Klal Yisrael. Each year, we are deeply moved by the life journeys of our B'nai Mitzvah class. May it be your blessing to receive an abundance of strength, friendship, light, and wisdom as you have blessed the lives of all those whose paths have crossed yours. The Holy One has shone a light on your face and kissed your forehead with the breath of inspiration. May each of you know God, each in your own way, and may we all continue to be illumined by the sweetness of your teaching. Chazak, chazak, v'nit chazek. May we strengthen each other as we go forward. Ateret Tiferet Seva. Longevity is a crown of glory. Yeah. Years of service, years of learning, years of teaching, years of glory. There is a chain of transmission, a path from the divine here to the divine in here. A road less traveled, but more precious than most. It is ancient and modern, all in the same moment. It is a blessing to be traveled on. We take this moment and we pay attention. We're attentive to the meaning of lives lived in the service of community, lives lived as shepherds, bringing down an abundance of peace to our world. And as students and teachers of Torah, increase peace in the world. Talmidei Chachamim Barbim Shalom Ba'olam. We are reminded that hope is like peace. It is a gift we give one another. May this Mehadrin class know the appreciation of a community gathered today in gratitude. May the breath of all that lives bless them with continued wisdom, intelligence, discernment, and patience. And may the Holy One take infinite pleasure in their blessing. Baruch atah chonein hada'at. Blessed is the one who has graced us with intelligence.
Beautiful. Thank you, Lisa and Michael. Thank you, everyone, for joining us today. Thank you to everyone who worked so hard to make this evening possible. Special thanks to Rabbi Matt Goldstone and Ali Skamengas, who have been taking care of the technological aspects of today's program, and to Linda Rips, who oversaw the journal. Thank you also to Carl Sayers, one of our cantorial students who has been making our incredible videos all year. We are grateful to all of you. We have opened the chat. please use this time to share your greetings with the honorees. We know that they will love hearing from you. And to everyone who has joined us, l'chula shalom, go in peace. We look forward to seeing you all again soon. Stay safe and stay healthy.